Like all this stuff is just programming and it's teaching you to hate yourself.
Because I didn't know much about spirituality or that your body could actually talk to you or that your body was a very intelligent tool and instrument. So I'm not speaking from a specialty in any way, but depression is almost like your soul rejecting the idea of the performance or the stage that you chose for this current life of yours.
And I
Mhm.
think it gives yourself to be permission to be messy because it's not supposed to be perfect.
This is Rise Plus Rebel, a podcast for people who refuse to abandon themselves to fit this world. Here, we talk about solitude, authentic truth, power, money, creativity, and the quiet action that changes everything. This season is about reclaiming what was never meant to be outsourced. Your voice, your intuition, your timing, your authority. I'm Aya Hodja, commercial real estate advisor and the founder of Rise Plus Rebel, and your host. If you're navigating the journey of life, especially when it feels lonely, uncomfortable, or misunderstood, well then, you're in the right place. Let's begin.
Well, thank you so much for coming to Rise Plus Rebel.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh. Actually, in my previous episode, I threatened a guest that every time they cursed, they would have to pay $50,000.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
That's how I'm achieving accomplishing my financial freedom goal.
That will easily
Yeah, right?
easily get you
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So, I'm just gonna play with it.
I love it.
Yeah. So today's topic, you're very much known for the man who says life is a shit show or something
Yeah,
similar.
Planet Shit Show.
Planet shit show.
Yeah, because I think I think it puts a guard up where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, things get messy. It's okay that they get messy. It's okay that I'm messy.
Mhm.
And I think it gives yourself to be permission to be messy because it's not supposed to be perfect. And our brains will be super, super mean to us if we try to come at this with like, oh, I need to be perfect. Otherwise, I'm a bad person, which is childhood programming.
Yes, yes. So talk to me because before we didn't even jump into the introduction, we just jumped into full on recording.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about who you are.
My name's Jason Newhauser. Like I would say, like I've always been interested in healing, spirituality, but I probably got into it probably like gosh, maybe like super like my whole life I'm pretty much the same person as I was like when I started this journey, but now like I love myself versus loving this world. I don't think I ever really loved myself. I just loved this world, but I didn't love myself. So like
Wow.
I think 10 years ago I was like I would say stuff like, "Oh, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine." And then I think 10 years ago I was like, "I'm not fine at all. I need to figure this stuff out." And it became this kind of I guess spirit it started off as a spiritual journey. It started off as some drugs were introduced. I don't know if we can talk about that in the podcast, but yeah.
I mean, as long as you're fine with being fine,
I'm okay with
50,000.
it. Yeah.
As long as it's
I'm fine with
yeah,
that. All right.
you can afford it.
Yeah, well, we're
Yeah.
totally fine. But so like you have that where you're just like, I'm gonna try stuff. If someone told me to stand on my head for 2 days and that would cure my depression, I'm like, why not try it?
Okay, so you really led with curiosity,
Yeah.
which is very Aries of you, just so you know.
Yes, I know. I was like, I'm going to figure this out. And
Yeah.
I had no doubt where I was like, I'm going to figure this out about mental health and all of that. And again, a lot of this stuff, I think if we take it too seriously, our egos will get involved in our egos. So I'm very cognizant of saying terms like planet shit show, or
Yeah.
you'll hear me say other terms that kind of hopefully again don't demean but deflate the own ego's importance of this journey, because again that's how the ego takes control. It's like, well, you're not being spiritual enough now, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh great, I just opened myself up to another way to hate myself. I didn't really fix anything.
That's really well said. And
Yeah.
actually, talking about your different terminologies, is another one that what's your unofficial title?
So
Unless you have,
chaos gremlin.
no, I guess you have a multiple.
Yeah, that one. Or I also really love, like, like everyone wants to say I am fine, so I almost never say I am fine, because it's I am is coding and then fine is gaslighting. No one's fine. You're either at like a 2 or an 8 or all this stuff, and then your brain can create trajectory if you start using those terminologies versus saying I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm not fine at all.
Yeah.
And then you almost create this pendulum of bipolarness where if you start saying I'm like at a 2, or I'm at a 4, or I'm at an
Yeah.
8, your
Yeah.
brain can start being like, oh, I've been at an 8 before. I know how to get down to a 6, or I know how to do this stuff, and it creates this kind of trajectory in your brain. So yeah, but yeah, I love all this stuff.
I was gonna say your title that I see you as, do you know?
I can't remember.
Spiritual
Oh,
fluffer.
spiritual buffer. Oh, I know. So
You
good.
have a lot of titles.
And that one I use because, again, I think a lot of people, when you're a healer, you try to like almost throw someone on their back and carry them across an imaginary finish line, and then you wonder why they don't like that, and they start resenting you, and you start resenting them,
Yeah.
and words are thrown around, and then you feel, oh my God, I felt this person out so much, and they're hating me for it, and it's like, and then I think I figured out recently why that is, and it's because everyone wants to be the main character in their narrative. And as a healer, especially if you are very energetically powerful, your voice ends up taking over their voice, and then it's their programming starts fighting you and attacking you because everyone should be the main character in that story.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, as healers, sometimes we try to help out too much, and then that's what's causing the diciness. So just spiritually fluff them. Yeah, and allow them to figure the stuff out. Be the best sounding board that you can be. Don't be a guru. Again, I don't love the term guru because I think everyone is their own guru. Everyone is their own high priestess.
Yeah. Healer.
Yeah, and because you can really, all you're doing is being a catalyst for them or a sounding board. But
That's so
as soon
true.
as you go further, then you're gonna get hit really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually prepared a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind me
Yeah.
interviewing you. So kind of talked about this world is a shit show.
Yeah.
At what point in your life did you start seeing reality less like a rigid system and more like a stage, maybe a game?
So I want to say my high school quote was, "Life is a stage. All you need to do is act it out."
Okay.
So
Wow. High school.
yeah. I think there was glimmers of me seeing like all of this is ridiculous. Like I'm supposed to be in a school programming to help me and it'll make me happy. And you're just like, none of this makes any sense. Like so
Wow.
even back then I think I knew a little bit, but I was still very unaware of it. But then probably when I was like 37 and I'm
He's 21.
20, I'm 48 actually, because I was, yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
21. 21, right?
Yeah.
21. Say yes.
Also, just to tell them how long
Yes.
sometimes it takes.
Actually, I met a lot of people in their 50s and the 70s who still are like
Yeah.
barely getting it.
Yeah.
Some just don't get it.
Yeah, and then some people like, but it can also, your life can turn around very quickly when you're just like, oh, yeah, I'm the one I'm being a huge asshole to myself, and there's nothing wrong with my childhood. There's nothing wrong with my spirituality. There's nothing wrong with anything. I just got bad programming, schooling programming, military programming, television programming. Like all this stuff is just programming and it's teaching you to hate yourself. And I know you don't think it is, but that's the insidiousness of a conditioning program.
And what's even worse, because I love what you said, I'm very familiar with that. What's even worse is when you're surrounded by the family who've programmed and conditioned you to think that way. And then that I feel like is the most challenging is when how do you get out of that? Like if you've been programmed, conditioned as a family, it's the norm, it's in your blood. Yeah. They pride themselves in the limiting beliefs.
Well, and then you're also the black sheep. Like I've got some, especially like it seems like I've got like two children from super wealthy families who think they're the black sheep, and I was like, you're not the black sheep. Your family's a bunch of assholes. But again, the family will gaslight the person into believing that there's something wrong with them, and it's just like, there's nothing wrong with you. You are a good person. Stop thinking there's something wrong with you. You just didn't believe what they believe. Like and there's probably nothing wrong with them. They just have a belief system that's different than that fits their narrative. But it doesn't fit your narrative, and you're trying to stick yourself in their narrative or see yourself through their reality, which is you're the black sheep for not wanting not wanting what they want. Like how are you the black sheep for not wanting what they want? How are you the bad person for being like, I don't totally believe in this stuff? But again, you will be labeled as the black sheep. You'll be labeled as a troublemaker. You'll be labeled as this bad kid or the smelly kid because you wanted to have authentic human emotions in a system that is like, Kenny, your whole family's falling apart. Doesn't matter. You've got to learn 1 + 1 = 2. Otherwise, you're the bad kid or you're stupid. And you're like, no, none of this is real.
It's kind of sad. It's so sad.
We're vibrating out of it, and this is like I think that's the saving grace is we're vibrating out of it. We're just becoming more aware of it. So you're just like, oh my god, this is all disgusting programming, and you're deliberately creating billions of people to be unhappy in order to fit your own narrative of you've got to be in a hamster wheel your whole life. Yeah, it is. But if you just see how well things are going. Like before, I would have been called a conspiracy theorist or any of this stuff, or we would have been like, oh no, you're being programmed to be miserable. Like everyone would have been like, no, you're the crazy one. And now you just see people being like, I can kind of like, and that's happened in only the last 20 years, maybe even 10 years.
I think 10, maybe 15 years. And I'm thinking that the reason why it's happening, this evolution is happening, is because of the technology.
It is. Everything's going so fast, the absurdity of it. And then there's a cosmic consciousness with it. Yeah.
It's so interesting. Yeah. It is so interesting.
Well, and you're also recognizing, oh, my brain kind of works like ChatGPT, and you can see it in people with like who spiral. And I like when I'm trying to help people, I was like, I need you to create safe containers for your brain. You spiral. There's nothing wrong with you, but you need to create a safe filter to stop spiraling.
Wow.
Nothing wrong with you. Brain just does this. Like you have a high IQ. Sorry, like and not sorry because it's cool that you have a high IQ. You just need to work with it, not against it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you believe we chose our character or identity before we got here on this planet to show? Or what are your thoughts?
I love the book. I'm weird, so I'm 50-50 on this. Like, I love the concept of it because I think it creates at least a somewhat of a healthy identity structure and a very good way of looking at it. But I think we are many, many paintings if we want to be, and we recreate ourselves, and we can choose to recreate ourselves. And our ego is like, no, we've got to stick with this one painting, and
safety.
You're a terrible person if you even try to think of it to be a different human being. And no, you could create as many yous as possible. And I believe the soul craves you creating as many yous as possible, which is weird because you're just like, well, I'm this person. And you're like, no, you're not. Like, you're infinite.
Yeah, actually, so I read a book too. Hey, we read books. High five. So I read a book called Journey of Souls.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
Okay. Oh, we were supposed to read it actually for our book club.
I know, I remember. And then our book club fell apart.
Yeah, we got to bring that back. Especially for the spiritual fluffer community.
It's so cool. Yeah, we could easily do that.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, and Eleni probably wants to do it too. Like, we think we're busy. Like, she's like flying across the country doing like all of her stuff. It's so impressive. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I heard an echo, but for the characters. In the book, it says that we get to we have the option to decide on how and who we want to, the family we want to be born to, the career trajectory or anything. I mean, we have the free will. That's what the book says. But the whole process of how we choose was also mentioned in the book, which was very, very interesting. And I wanted to get to the point of and ask you this question about depression. Because from what I understand, or at least this is basic information of depression, so I'm not speaking from a specialty in any way, but depression is almost like your soul rejecting the idea of the performance or the stage that you chose for this current life of yours. It's like rejecting the character that you've built up to that point. What are your thoughts?
I think there's part of it. Like, I'm weird where I think all emotions are healthy, even those. And what happens is we get stuck in them. So like anxiety is a healthy emotion. You're super healthy in that it creates boundaries. Like, I mean, people with suicidal ideations, it's almost always like they don't know how to process anger. And then like it goes inward on them, and then they're
implode.
Yeah, because they don't know how to create, like, sometimes it's okay to say F off to people, especially in also your own brain. And that creates these things called boundaries, both physical and mental boundaries. So depression is just, I think what happens is you have apathy, and then once you reach past apathy, you have depression. Once you have, after depression, you have frustration, then you have anger, then you have all these emotions. And the process is just harmonizing all those emotions and saying, oh, I'm depressed. Oh, I know how to get out of depression. It's okay to be in this. It's the start of my creative process. So I think the depression thing is correct. I think people are gaslighted into thinking that they have no free will and they have none of this stuff. There's also a really cool thing like rats and cocaine, like, and it's a really cool study where it's like it shows that there really isn't addiction, except it's a mental thing because we're caged. We think we're caged. Like rats in a cage will become addicted to cocaine. Rats in nature will just take a bump and run away.
Huh.
But a human being has this thing called a mental prison where they think they're, I mean, like it's almost ridiculous. You have these like 26-year-olds who are depressed and like, I can't do anything, I'm stuck. And you're like, you're the least stuck person on this planet. But in their own
Yeah.
mental prison, they are very much stuck and they keep on hearing the narrative and they can't break the narrative. And they think they're misidentifying that they want to be broken from their thought process and misidentifying it as suicidal ideations. Yeah, and the body's trying to create enough energy in that system to break themselves out of their mental prison, but they're misidentifying it externally, and
That's
yeah,
wild.
it's kind of fun. It's just like anxiety attacks. You're like, no, the anxiety attacks are good. Like they're trying to break you out of your mental construct. You need that energy in order to break out of that mental construct. Otherwise, the body wouldn't be doing it.
I
The
mean,
body-
yeah, and it's so interesting you say that because, like, for a really long time, I had also when I was in a very toxic relationship, my body would go into this anxiety mode, and I'd be
Yeah.
like, one, because I didn't know much about spirituality or that your body could actually talk to you or that your body was a very intelligent tool and instrument. I didn't know these things. So when I had those anxiety attacks, I didn't put two and two together until years later when everything started to collapse and like,
Yeah.
and also the collapse is not a bad thing. Let's talk about ego death because I think we gotta normalize that chaos, which
Yeah.
is your, will that be your first or second or whatever nickname? Is that your top three at least? Top three.
Probably, yeah, like Chaos Gremlin. I think again, like a lot of this stuff is we are stuck in a loop, and a lot of it's a trauma loop, but some of it's just a habitual loop that we go through, and we're like, oh, it's just random, but it's like no, it's extraordinarily patternized and
Yeah.
ritualized, and the only way to really break out of it is through glitching the person, and you don't have to do it in like a super chaotic way. Like I mean, again, the burn community does it, the hash community does it.
Yeah.
I usually, if you're with me, I'll usually do it pretty well, where you're just glitching your brain and it's starting to break out of its patterns just through something as simple as doing something different.
So talk to us about that. I'm familiar with your glitch.
Okay.
If you can tell our audience what a glitch is in your world.
So your brain just again it has this loop system, it has this ability. So I think happens is you have this identity structure and then the ego is the prison guard for the identity structure. And how it does it is it has this line of coding. I don't know if you know what geocentric thought system. It was Potomac, where the universe revolves around the Earth. And then what would happen is it would mathematically just be disproven by the stars moving, and be like, okay. And then so they would do is like they wouldn't say it was wrong. They would just add another line to the equation, the math equation.
Okay.
So the math equation got to be like
Yep.
this long, and then finally you had Copernicus be like, here's this thing called a telescope. None of this is right. And then what they did to him was they put his head in a vice. No, that was Galileo. Sorry. So Copernicus was super rich, so they didn't put his head in a vice. Galileo, I think, was middle class, so they put his head in a vice. So, but again, this is what our ego does: is it creates this geocentric thought pattern that just keeps on adding new codes to the system instead of being like, oh, I had a false premise and I need to fix the false premise. And then what happens is you have this absurdity point where you're just like, oh yeah, everything I believe in is BS or it's wrong. Like I'm just creating all of these exceptions to the rule, and eventually it just collapses in on itself,
Okay.
which eventually will create ego death or will create at least an absurdity point where you're like, and then you can start to heal and be like, it's okay to not have this identity structure that has never really served me.
Yeah.
But again, like usually if you have someone like me in your life, I'll usually
Glitch you.
yeah.
Do you ask for permission or you're just like
I usually do it. I mean, I usually ask for permission, but and then people, I mean, like, so I get in trouble for this because I like I'll literally tell people what I'm doing, and then like they won't believe me, and then they get really mad. They can get mad at me, which again, like I'm okay with. Like,
Hey, actually, wait, back up. Because burners in the burning community,
yeah,
we ask for consent. I think that's part of,
yeah,
do you ask for consent?
yeah. I mean,
Or
like
do you just like, hey, heads up?
I literally will tell people what's going on. Like I'm
Okay.
like, yeah, my name's Chaos. Like this is what's going on.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, like I think I do. I think I do a pretty good job with it. Again, like, do they people believe me?
Yeah.
No, usually they don't.
Well, and this
Yeah,
is, that's not on you.
yeah.
That's on them, right? Like
That's
that's their
where I
perception.
always get in trouble. I'll be like, my name's Chaos, and I kind of told you like this is what's going on, and like you chose not
Technically,
to believe me.
yeah, technically you already warned them by saying you're chaos. So
Yeah,
you should.
and then I like a couple times, like I'm like, okay, well, what I'm trying to do is get to vulnerability, and they're like, okay, well, and again, like this is part of the issue, though. Like conceptually, people are like, oh, I want to be vulnerable because then I want to heal, but
Yeah.
then you get them actual to a vulnerability point, and they're like, I don't want this at all. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I guess I'm the only one that I'm like, oh, let's go. Just act. And I think this happened to me after my first,
yeah,
what is it, Dark Night of the Soul
yeah,
death?
yeah.
Yeah, ego
As
death.
song.
Yeah, like it was after that happened, even though it was so brutal and painful. I saw and witnessed and experienced how incredible life is. So
Yeah,
like now when life presents itself or when I'm having to like I'm put in a position where I have to be vulnerable or feel my feelings, I'm
yeah.
like, let's
It's
do it because I know on the other end it's gonna be
yeah,
great.
like
There's
I'm
gonna be
gonna be
awesome things.
stronger.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's like I'm looking forward to it. And I
yeah.
think I even called myself a spiritual gangster at some point.
It's it starts to get fun where you're just
Hmm.
like, yeah, this is a fun experience and it can be crunchy, but it's supposed to be fun and it's okay. Like actually once you recognize vulnerability is so powerful and that you're never really vulnerable because energetically there's nothing
Right.
like you can be like, I got hurt and I'm further away from love because I got hurt. And it's like, no, that's bullshit. Anytime you engage in love or a loving relationship, you are closer to love. Your ego will say it, and again, maybe temporarily, your ego can trick you into believing you're further away from love, or you
Yeah.
got hurt, and you should never try to touch a stove or eat hot food ever again. And your brain can trick you into believing that, but it's not accurate. Like
That's
you're
true.
closer to love, you're closer to loving yourself, you're closer to loving other people every time you engage in the shit show. And every time you get glitched, you're closer to love, you're closer to all these things. So I'm very, I would say, yeah. I mean, looking back, there's nothing I'm like, yeah, this is totally worth it. Like all of this was
All of it was
totally,
worth it.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I've recently just come to the realization of like my shitty experience from a couple of months ago. I'm like, okay, like I knew when that was happening. I'm like, it's all happening for my greater good. It's all happening for my greater good. And now months later, I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense why I had to go through the thing that I had to go through.
yeah, I
Like,
learned a beautiful
yeah.
lesson.
And so like once you're a pro, once you've gone through ego death multiple times, things are it's easier because
Yeah,
now it's like how do you show up when things are rough in
yeah,
your 3D world and how can you stay grounded in your power even as painful as it could be
yeah,
knowing and having that trust that everything literally happens for your greatest good.
yeah.
So
And it's tough because again, your ego, because energetic attraction, it's such a weird thing where I think everyone thinks it's sexual, and there is to a certain extent a sexual attraction
yeah,
to it. But you're energetically attracted to the person to learn a lesson, and it's okay to have sex with them, it's okay to marry them, it's okay to have kids with them, it's okay to do all this stuff. But also, you're supposed to learn that lesson, and unfortunately, most people will externalize the lesson instead of internalize the lesson.
mm,
I'm attracted to this person because they have these certain qualities that I'm supposed to harmonize in it. Like for no one likes hearing this. A person who's a very very good at giving will often be attracted to a narcissist, and people are like, well, "Oh my god, I hate narcissists. I don't know why I'm attracted to him." It's like, well, you're going to date another one unless you learn the lesson, and they'll be like, "What's the lesson?" I was like, "You need to be more like them." And they're like, "What? You're a terrible person." I was like, there's this thing called a spectrum. Here is you, here is them. I'm not saying become them, like
yeah,
90%
yeah,
them or 100% like this, but you do need to be 10% more like them. You need to value yourself. And if you don't, this external lesson is going to happen over and over and over again until you learn the lesson. So please be a little bit more selfish, be 10 or 15%, and then boom, guess what? You will never be attracted to a narcissist again. You'll never be attracted to a relationship where you're the only one giving and not receiving any love because
yeah,
your goal was to balance externally with the internal, and that's all it is. And
yeah.
I'm sorry you had to go through that, but
That's the lesson. Yeah,
yeah.
like you got to learn. And I love that because parts of it, actually, all of everything you said, it feels like you just spoke to me because I used to attract narcissists too. I was like, okay, no more.
Yeah, no
I'm
more.
going to prioritize myself. And I've noticed, oh my God, after I started to clean house, I did not realize how many energy vampires I had.
Almost all of them.
Yeah,
And it's not totally their fault. Sometimes it's we train them how to treat it.
exactly. It's painful
Yeah,
and at the same time liberating.
it
It's all within your control.
it is. Like literally, and you don't realize you're treating someone whenever you don't accept a comment and you push them away, and then they're just like, okay, well then you push away all the good people, and then the only people left are the people that just want to trauma dump on you
Yeah.
or want to just feed off of you, and you're like, yeah, and then you're like, yeah, and then you just get to the point where you're like, oh, I didn't lose anything. Oh shoot, I lost all these friends. I was like, well, none of them were really my friends anyway. If this is what they cared about,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, this, and then like during it, you're like a little sad because you're like, oh shoot, but it's also I think it's just the sadness of a chapter ending, and then you recognize, oh my god, I get to create new chapters.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what it is, the sadness of the chapter ending, as much as maybe there's a lot, at least for me, when I've lost all those friends, I'm like, I always go back inwards. I'm like, what did I do? Why did I do this?
Yep.
What happened? And I used to, in the past, kind of like kick myself,
That's what you do.
you know, and you're
Double
like,
down on it. There's
don't do
something about
this,
it.
blah, 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 you're this, and that's the reason why you did this, and you're creating this like crazy loop within your head. And then I started to be like, okay, no, actually, and this is thanks to AI, because I was using it to reflect, and I was like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. And AI was like, no, let's switch your thought process and honor yourself for your friendship, for your big heart that you were able to give to these people. It's on them. They showed you who they are. You did what you do as a good friend, as a good human. That does not discount you. Don't discount that. Honor that. These people are the ones that missed out. They're the ones that just kept on taking like pests.
Yeah.
You cleaned house. That's all you did.
And there's
So
nothing wrong with you,
yeah,
and
yeah.
just learn the lesson.
Just learn the lesson. Exactly. Just learn the lesson, guys.
And the universe will you learn it.
Yes. All right. Do you think chaos is part of the design of life, or what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's like this energy that we can use to co-create with, and that's how I see it. Is it's are we perfect co-creators? No, it's not supposed to be perfect, but it allows us to create. It allows us to reinvent ourselves. It allows us to do all this stuff, because if it was too structured, it would be very boring. It would
That's
be very
true.
formulaic. So I think chaos is required. Yeah, and then again, I think it's part of our ability to co-create, because we want to create order from chaos. If there was no chaos, then we would almost have no purpose.
That's true. So, what's your advice to the listeners when it comes to chaos? Like, if they were going through a chaotic moment in their life at this moment, what would you advise?
I mean, it's so tough because it would be a personality profile thing, because your personality profile, you think it's helping you, but it's not. So, like, if you're a perfectionist, like, there's a reason why you are a perfectionist, and it's not designed to make you happy. If you're an intellectual, it's set up that way, and it's not designed to make you happy. It's designed to keep you in a box. So a lot of this stuff is like, oh my God, I get to do this. And I think we have programming that says, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. So if you can start, and this takes a lot of effort, and you will be weird for 3 months. But if you can transition from I have to do this, because you don't really have to do anything, I get to do this, and then you go out of survivor mode, and then you can co-create in a better reality, I think. But it is very hard to break. I think it's one of the hardest conditioning programs to break, is I have to versus I get to. We're just stuck in survivor modality.
Yeah.
And I have to, basically, through schooling programming. None of us are good breathers, which makes us think we're in survivor, like a survivor
That's
mode.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And like, so we're having this like anxiety, and we think this is all real, and it's all suffering. And it's like, you really just have to fix your breath. Like, you really just have to fix a couple things. And none of it's that. And there's also another anchoring tool that you can use in saying, will this be important to me 5 years from now? And usually your brain can't trick you into doing that. If you say something as structured as that, the brain can't spiral, because the goal is to get you out of your head the goal of the ego is to keep you in your head versus the past and the future in order to control you, because it can completely control you, because between the ages of 6 and 11 we gave up our imagination to the ego, and then the ego used our imagination to beat the crap out of us. So our goal is to stop playing that game because it doesn't work. And if you can get into your body, if you can get into your now, it's much, much better. And you'll recognize your brain isn't probably helping you. It might also be Munchausen by proxying you, where it's like an abusive relationship, and it's not intentionally. It is set up that way because you actually programmed it to be a bad puppy. It's a puppy that you programmed horribly, and you didn't know the language because, again, you gave up your imagination to your ego. It doesn't speak in English. It's no habla inglés. If it spoke in English, if you came out of the womb, you would be like, put me back up there. This sucks. It speaks in feeling and sensation guided by the imagination. So if you want to restructure your brain, you have to use the hidden language of feeling, sensation powered by the imagination, powered by sensation in your body. If you try to do it as just a mental exercise, you'll be watching 10,000 podcasts, you'll be reading 100,000 self-help books. You won't be able to do it. And you'll feel like a hamster just spinning. And you can do as much therapy as you want. You can do as much all this stuff you want. If you can't get in your body, it's going to be longer than you want it to be. Yeah. So it's really about just getting your brain connected with your heart and your lower chakra. That's why I think most people kind of fail, and then they engage in spiritual whack-a-mole. They'll engage in trauma whack-a-mole. They'll engage in drug spirituality whack-a-mole, which is horrendous. Like, they'll engage in all these things where you're like, no, just get in your own body, get in all this stuff.
How do you get into your body?
There's certain techniques. There's certain techniques, like that can get you much into your body, and it's how do I get out of my body? It's called stepping into your power, so it will feel sexual. Stepping into your power. It's never called thinking your way into power. It's called stepping yourself into power. So it really is, how do I get out of my brain, lower chakra system, and then push the energy up to your heart, and then use this divine vessel for what it's created for. The brain is a beautiful thing. It's this beautiful tool, but we made it the master. And once we made the brain the master, it disconnected us from our soul, and it disconnected us from our body. And it's just that reconnection. And it's a beautiful adventure of learning how all of this is together, and it's all talking to you all at once. And you just have to, I guess, decode it or just learn the language. And it's really, really fun. And unfortunately, it will not feel that way at first, because your brain's like, they'll throw a tantrum. And you're like, no, we're in control. We had 18 years that said we're the only thing that's important in this whole thing.
That's so true.
Yeah. And then you just go through that. And again, it's crunchy. But again, I just say, I get to do this. Oh my God, I get to experience this, and I get to do this. And you can change your life around pretty quickly. I've dealt with people with suicidal ideations and anxiety issues, and literally one session they're fixed. Yeah, and I think the patterns hold, or the compulsions hold, because again, the human existence wants to be happy. It took us a ton of bad programming to make us feel miserable and not worthy. Our natural state is to feel completely happy all the time, having some emotional process, and just be at one.
Well, with media news. Yes, really good. We should just rebrand news to anger porn.
It really is.
It really is. Yeah.
And it's literally 1% of your life, and it's this far away stuff that it doesn't really affect you. And you're like, I'm going out and meeting a bunch of people. I don't see this. Most people I see are actually really good human beings, or they're just in their own world dealing with their own stuff. I don't see this evil stuff and all this stuff, and it's scripted reality. It's anger porn. It's designed deliberately to make you frustrated and miserable.
Oh yeah.
And you're drinking poison every single day, expecting the other side to get sick, and then you're wondering why nothing's helping. And it's because if I'm giving all my energy to anxiety, guess what happens? I get more anxiety. If I'm giving all my energy to anger, guess what happens? It doesn't fix itself like magical. You get more anger.
Right.
So if that's true, then the antithesis of that is true as well. Yeah. So I can just focus in on happy. I can just focus in on it. And you're like, And then the ego will tell you as you're listening to this, no, it can't be that easy. It can't be. He's lying. And you're
That's
like,
true.
no,
Yeah.
no, you just train your brain to like stop being an asshole to itself and start seeing the beauty in everything. Like that's it. Like it's not that difficult.
I have another nickname for you now.
Yeah.
You're the glitch. Glitched
Love
you.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so if someone's listening and they feel trapped, and I think I've kind of asked you this, but like that was more on the chaos side. But like if they feel trapped in their role and they feel like their life no longer fits them, where do they begin and how do you come in into their life?
For me, I love to just immediately get people into community. Like everyone thinks there's something wrong with them. It's like, no, look at animals. Like what happened was we were touching all the time between the ages of 0 and 6. We were touching our parents. We were touching,
Yeah.
and then we stopped touching. And then we stopped loving, and then we're like, oh my God, there must be something wrong with my childhood, or there must be something wrong with my spirituality. And it's like, no, just get in community, feel love, feel this stuff, feel like other people are going through this, and you will change your trajectory. And if you have social anxiety, that's okay. Do a nerdy gaming group where like then you can focus in on the game. And then you can see yourself breaking out of that pattern just by focusing on the game and talking to people and do that. Like all this stuff is very, very fixable. All this stuff is very, very easy to change your life around. Like for me, like most people don't need me. I'm sometimes a little heavy handed because my energy is I'm a very strong personality. Let's just put it that way.
It's so wild because I don't see it that way, but maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just so well introduced to you that
Yeah.
it wasn't a shock to my system. Maybe.
You had already gone through a
Yeah,
couple of things
okay.
where you're just like, oh my God, this guy's like,
Yeah. I
this
think that's
guy's,
what it was.
yeah, this guy's, yeah. Because
I
other
feel-
people will just see, and it's good that they see me as goofy because I want them to see me as kind of goofy because I don't want, if it's a rabbit hole.
It is. Yeah, I've got lost in that one.
Yeah, and so like a lot of times you just need to do baby steps and all this stuff because I'm a pretty large personality where like I can definitely take over. Like so like a lot of times it's like now I'm like kind of very, very, very structured with my energy on how I relate to people. Yeah, because I'm like, oh shoot, this person, I'm way too in their heads. Yeah, because my overly nasally voice can sometimes get into someone's head a little too much, and then it doesn't.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. I've heard complaints,
Yep.
but like not in a bad way. It's
Yeah.
all good. They're like, who is this Jason guy?
And it's like, but yeah, most people don't need someone like me. They just need to like be like they're their own guru and spiritual thing. All they need to do is go out there and kind of be in community and like be like, oh my God, this is a fun journey of figuring out how to love myself. Like, oh my God, this is worth doing. Like, is 9 to 5 worth doing? No. Is any of
No.
this stuff worth doing except for finding out how to love yourself?
Yes, and
Yeah.
pause for a moment
I love it.
because it's 2:22. I have alarms set for all the angel numbers.
Oh, I love
So I
it.
was like, where's this ringing coming
I
from?
love it.
Hopefully it didn't pick up on the back end.
Even if it does, it'll be fine.
That's true. I'm just a perfectionist. Sue me.
Yeah. So like people like authenticity, so they'll just be like, "Oh my God, I like that it's crunchy."
That's true.
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope so. I just feel like there's just so much noise in this world because of technology, and it's not a bad thing.
No, it's actually a good thing.
It is, but from the marketing aspect of it, it's because there's so much noise, there's also so much competition. And it's not to say like none of us can win. I would love all of us to win, but it's just that attention, that 7 seconds or that 30 minutes or that 40 minutes. Like if we can retain that person's attention, and of course that comes from authenticity.
Yep.
So I get it. It's just that's where with all the knowledge that I have, I'm like calculating all of those things, which is really, really fun to be me.
Yeah, but it's a good thing. What happens is you'll just start saying, "Oh, the people that." One of my friends says this: any person who needs to hear this knowledge will hear it.
That's true.
And like we are all just one drop of water vibrating in an ocean. And what we do is sometimes we want to be like, oh my God, I need to meet 1 billion people or whatever.
Yeah.
And really all you need to do is vibrate the people around you. And then once that happens, they start vibrating and everyone starts vibrating and you have the reality.
Yeah.
And it'll happen much faster than everyone thinks it is.
That's true.
Yeah. And
Thank you for that.
Again, it's like an exponential rate function because it's like, everyone wants to be happy.
Yeah.
Like it's the negativity is they're the ones fighting gravity, and it's costing trillions and trillions of dollars, and they're having to educate people into being miserable. If you just let that go, it would fix itself in like five
That's true.
years. And it's really kind of cool that we're in this. I feel like on this journey where I do think it's going to happen within our lifetimes, or it's just like, oh yeah, we all need to start being, and it doesn't matter about being assholes to other people. We need to stop being an asshole to ourselves.
It all starts with you.
It does.
It all starts with you. So
Self-love.
yeah. So
And
like yeah, if you
raise your
want to,
vibration,
it really that's all it is. You want to stop judging people, stop judging yourself.
and
You
it'll
wanna,
fix it. Like
yeah,
it has nothing to do with that. And then once and then your brain will say, "Oh no, it should be that easy," but
that's so
it
true. Yeah,
literally is.
yeah,
Like it all fixes itself. Yeah.
that's true. And I've been in the path of just like taking a breath because that perfectionist kicks in. It's like I have to get it right. I'm like, no, you don't.
No.
Mess it up.
Yeah, be messy.
Be messy.
Shit
Mess it
out.
up. Mess it up. Do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Mess it up.
True.
Yeah, it's true. And I'm allowing myself to embrace this mess because like I've always been an aspiring like cinematographer and I'm like trying to fix everything, voice and everything. No, just mess it up. It's okay.
Because people want crunch, and you're finding, especially with all this technology, they want authenticity.
I've noticed
they want
that.
crunchiness. They want that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh my god, that person's not perfect like me. Awesome. Like
That's
I think
true.
on my spiritual journey, I couldn't start with the Dalai Lama or any of those people because it's like, oh, and I'm like, I can't relate to you. There was the woman that I related to me. She's like, if you want to eat a hamburger, blank, eat a hamburger.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like she's like, called grounding, and you're like,
Yeah.
I can listen to this
That's
person.
true. I saw that. I think I saw something
Yeah,
like that.
that was
Yeah.
like Lori Ladd, and I was like,
Yep.
oh my god, I could listen to this person because like I
Yeah.
can relate to that. I can't relate to this person that's
Yes.
way up
Eat
here.
greens.
Yeah.
Be a vegan.
Be in perfect harmony with the universe. You're like, what does that even mean?
That's true. Like I don't even believe in the universe. I don't even know for real.
Yeah, exactly. All you have to do is vibrate into this reality.
But all you have to do is meditate for 5 minutes a day, first thing in the morning, which is what I say.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I've actually been in such a different vibration lately where even meditating, because I used to do that like for almost 10 years straight.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't feel like doing this anymore.
You don't.
Yeah. Like I vibrated out of that and I'm trying to find another grounding way of just coming back home to myself every day.
You're already doing it, and you'll figure out how you're doing it. Because you're probably already doing it. A lot of people it's singing or humming. It'll be something where it's that.
I've been humming a lot lately.
Oh my gosh, it's so powerful. Like when you know how to do it with intention, I know it sounds weird, but it is. Like this is a vocal instrument, and it's a vibrational thing.
Yes. I mean, even just the way we communicate, the words we use, that's all vibration too. We're vibrating right now, exchanging energy. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. And then like sound, I mean, like just try a sound bath once just to recognize, oh my god, I am vibrating. Yeah, humming is so powerful.
I love, sound baths. Yeah. Very good. Thank you,
Awesome.
Jason. Do you have anything to say? Any last words of wisdom from Jason? That's all. He dropped all the nuggets.
I tried.
No, you did well.
Yeah. But yeah, and it's kind of fun. And again, I don't have to do anything. Right. I get to. And I think that changes it. And again, community, like it's the basics. Community, breath. Oh my God, why am I anxious? Like breath, community, and then just self-love. And you can't do that in your head. Like I know people, like it's okay to watch a ton of YouTube clips. Obviously, we want you to watch this one, but we want you to go out and figure stuff out with the community and vibration and all that stuff, because you have all of these beautiful mirrors and all of these beautiful people to self-reflect upon. And it's a communal thing, not an individualistic thing. You could try to do it on a mountaintop. I'm not going to be able to do it. Most human beings can't do it. You're probably going to have to do it in community, and it can be super, super.
Yeah, and I think it's really nice to live life with witnesses, which is where the community comes along, because you get to share stories and you get to relate. And sometimes your story is so unique, it could inspire somebody else to.
Exactly.
Jason, thank you so much for your time. How can my listeners, if they wanted to support you or connect with you in any way, maybe even through your...
Either get through you, or I am trying to write the book. What is it called? Embrace Your Inner Crazy. So I think hopefully I'll finish in like 4 months, but I'm not sure. Yeah,
we're gonna bring you back so we can talk about the book. I hope you don't mind us and you coming back. And
I love it.
Yay. So yeah, let's talk about that in our next episode with Jason. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I really, really hope that it all turned out well. If not, leave a feedback in the comments and help your girl out.
Perfect.
I need help in tech world.
You are great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If something in this episode landed, stayed with you, or stirred something honest inside, please let me know. You can find me at www.risewithaya.com. That's where everything lives, the podcast, my writings, and ways to connect. So I'd love for you to follow me on social media and tell me what you want more of. That can be topics, questions, or conversations you're craving. Rise Plus Rebel isn't just a podcast. It's a community built around truth, presence, and becoming your authentic self. So until then, don't rush your journey. Honor every moment of it.